Guys, the day is finally come. This is the moment that you've all been waiting for. This is the moment that I've been waiting for. I've been so excited for this, trying to find time for it, and it's finally time to do it. In today's video, we are going to be trying to list as many items on eBay in one day as possible. This is definitely one of the more ambitious tasks that I've taken on. We're going to see just how many things we can get listed in one day. If you guys recall, we started this series a little while back, probably a few weeks ago, where we had started testing through hundreds of games. A few episodes ago, we were photographing. I think we probably got about 100 games photographed so far. We've got many more that we'll likely end up photographing today. But the entire challenge today is to see how many we can possibly do within one day. So with that said, guys, it's bright and early down here in the office. I'm super excited to get started here. But real quick before we jump into it, if you haven't already hit the like button on this video, be sure to do that if you enjoy it. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's take a look at the first items that we had to get listed here, and then we're going to start checking out what we also had to get done. So you guys will remember that we took a bunch of photos of all of these items last time. So these are the ones that we're going to be starting with today. I've got all of the photos exported onto an SD card, which I believe is already inside of the computer. So we're just going to be able to go right into things here. I'm going to bring a pile over to the desk at a time. I'm going to go through each game as we list them, make sure there's no flaws and that we can mention them if there are. And that way, we're going to be able to do this pretty quickly. I'm also going to take the battery out of the camera right now and get that on charge. So when we're done these, we can move immediately on to some more photographs, and then we can get those ones listed as well. My goal is also to probably use all new bins for this so I can keep track of how many we've listed. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out a whole bunch of empty bins, and that way we'll be able to count the total at the end. I'm also going to be trying to keep track of the total dollar amount that all of these get listed for as we go through, so we can just get an idea as to how much money we can list in one day. I'm super excited about it. And with that, let me go ahead and get all this stuff set up. Let me get my computer started up and turned on. And we're going to start off with the first pile of games. Okay, guys, so I'm at my desk now. I am signed into eBay, ready to go. I've got a pile of Wii games here, and that's what we're going to be starting off with. I'm super pumped, and we got to get into things here because we don't have much time. We need to try to get as much stuff done as we can today. So I'm going to start off right here, right now. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, so first update, just finished all the Wii games here. We listed 21 games for $141.79. Let's move on to the next pile. Okay guys, so I just finished up the second pile of games here. We are now an hour and 5 minutes in or so, and we listed 21 more games for $113. And as you can see, we're about, again, halfway down this bin, full one of these bins. We are making good progress. It's time to move on to the third stack of games. Okay guys, so far we're about an hour and a half in, and we've managed to get quite a bit done. Not quite as fast as I thought, but it's still a decent amount. Every time I've been listening to games so far, I've been putting the number or price I listed it for in one of the columns. So the first batch of games we did right there, and then I can look at the number on the side. That'll tell me how many games I listed. So in the first batch we did 21, in the second batch we also did 21, and in the third batch we only did 19. However, when you total those all up, that brings us to a total of 61 games listed so far for a total of $381.39. So that's how I've been figuring out the totals, and we have quite a bit more to go if we're going to reach. What I'm trying to do is reach definitely at least $1,000 listed, but in addition to that, we're trying to get as much done as possible. And 60 games, or 61 games I should say, is not quite enough. So we gotta get right back to it. For anyone wondering, however, this is how many games we did manage to get listed so far. But it's time now to move back over to the shelf and start working on another couple piles. So I think I'm gonna grab 3 more piles like we did previously. We're gonna go ahead and get those guys all photographed. We will add them to the sheet as we go, see how much they get listed for. I'm super excited about this. I'm fairly confident right now that we can get probably 300 listed today based on how things are going. I also, unfortunately, do have to spare a little bit of time to ship a couple items out. We had like, I don't know, maybe 7 orders that we had to pull today and ship, and a few of them are some bigger ones. So I do have to leave some time for that. But without that, I mean, I'm gonna be willing to work all night here. And obviously we're nowhere near the nighttime yet, but if it comes down to it, I will keep working until midnight to try to get as much done as possible. So I'm super pumped. And yeah, I'm just going to pick out another 3 stacks. We're going to go ahead and start to get those photographed. Maybe I'll do these 3 for now. I think that's a good number of them right there. And we'll keep going strong here. So I need to clear the memory card, get our battery off charge, get the camera and light set up, bring all the games over. And now I'm ready to start taking some photographs. So with all these games now photographed, it's time to get listing. Let's see how quickly we can get these ones done. All right, guys, so we just finished up these 2 boxes, the top one right there and the bottom one right here. I'd be lying to you guys if I didn't say I was a little bit bored at this point. Again, I've gotten through quite a few games here, but the only real way to know how many we've done is to check the updated spreadsheet. Let's see how many games we just listed, and let's see what our total is at so far for the day. So we're back on the spreadsheet now, and you can see all of the games that we have listed so far, which actually doesn't look like a lot on this spreadsheet, unfortunately. Nevertheless, the ones in blue are the ones that we just finished. Those are the 3 piles there individually. And in total there was 54 games that we just listed. And if we come down here to the bottom corner, you can see the total was $434. So now that means that we listed 54 games here. I think we were like 40 something here. 21 plus 21 plus 19, that would be 42. That would be 62 minus 1, that's 61 games. So the total there would be 54 plus 61, which I think is around 115 or so. So not too bad there at all. And for the total so far, if we just go ahead and drag over the entire thing, we can see that we're at $815.85. So we'll definitely be hitting the $1,000 mark today without a doubt, which is exciting. Again, 115 active listings so far, and we still have about half the day left. So I'm gonna go ahead, take a break now and go get something to eat, and then we'll come back down and get some more listings going. So I just came back from a quick break, and I'm taking a look at the shelf here and just kind of admiring how overwhelming it is. Now, mind you, we had maybe 2 or 3 stacks right here that we got rid of, and then also the entire side of this shelf, which is not bad. But then when you look at this, there's still quite a bit left to do. And it's obvious to me now that we're not gonna be able to get it all done today. But I do have some ideas as to what I think we're gonna be able to tackle. So my first plan is I actually wanna wrap up the PS3 stuff, mainly because I find that this stuff goes pretty quick. And we're trying to get high numbers today. So I think we're going to touch on this stuff. I find the PS2 stuff often has more describing to do. There's more stickers and nonsense. So we're going to leave that stuff for now. Also, I think there's some higher value PS3 stuff in there too, which I'm excited about. I'm also going to touch this stack right here. All of these games right here seem like some high value ones. So hear me out, but I'm thinking that this stack and then these 2 stacks will be my next games that I'll touch. And then for our final amount after that, I'm assuming if we still have time, that we'll probably go for maybe just a stack of loose games or something else that will be very simple to do, because I'm realizing, again, I still have to ship things out today. I still got to edit videos. We're not going to have all the time in the world. This challenge is probably more of like a how many kind of list on a realistic scale when I still have other things to do. I did try to book the entire day off, but obviously there are always still things to do. Nevertheless, I'm going to get started on those 3 right there. I'm feeling a little bit more motivated now after that break, so I'm excited, but I'm sure probably about halfway into this, I'll start to feel a little bit bored again. And guys, let's talk about boredom for a quick second when listing things. I feel like it's a reason that a lot of people don't get around to listing things, or especially when you're listing things in bulk, it's the reason why you stop, because you just straight up get bored. It's super tedious, it's super grindy, and you're just sitting down at your computer doing the same thing over and over again all day long. There's a few things you can do to fix this, though, that I've found very useful for myself, and maybe if you guys aren't already doing some of these things, it might benefit you. The one major thing, which is a direct contradiction of what we're doing in today's video, is to split things up. So maybe every single day you come down in the morning. For example, if you're doing video games, you test all the video games, you clean them, you photograph them in the morning, in the afternoon you list them, or something along those lines. Or maybe even you test, clean, and photograph a certain amount in the morning, and then you list those in the morning, and then you do the same thing in the afternoon. Whatever the case, don't do what I'm doing, where you just bulk everything up for like a week, and then you try to sit down for like a few days and get it all done. That's a terrible idea. I'm doing it because I'm trying to prove to you guys, just a proof of concept kind of thing in terms of how much I can list in one day. But I wouldn't recommend it. Another thing I do when I'm listing is I always have music or something going on in the background. I find it super enjoyable. It kind of helps me get into the zone, kind of helps me relax a little bit and take some of the edge off of the boredom. Now, there's a couple things to think about here. I've tried listening to podcasts and documentaries and things of that nature when listing, but I often find that they just distract me. It's too bad because I really enjoy, listening and watching that kind of stuff. But oftentimes I'm finding more errors in my listing when I'm listing those because I'm a little bit more distracted. So I find the best solution for me, at least, is just to throw on some music and just kind of jam out for the hour when you're doing your listings or whatever it might be. But that's sort of how I've been approaching it. If you guys can manage, a Netflix show or whatever it might be on the side, then that's really cool. And if you can make listings that are still totally effective and correct with that in the background, props to you, because I can't, at least right as of now, I can't. But anyway, I'm good with just some music, and that's another thing that kind of helps me stay motivated. The last and final thing that I think forget sometimes, but I think is really important, I do it for YouTube purposes, and that's keeping track of the actual progress I've made in terms of the listings. How many items have I listed, and how much money have they been listed for? Oftentimes, you're not necessarily thinking about the fact that the work that you're doing right now, the listings, the most important part of the eBay business, is actually the part that's going to make you money like right away. This is the only thing that actually earns you money on eBay. You can do shipping and you can do sourcing and all these other things, but they're not directly earning you money. This is. So if you can keep track of how much money or how much dollars you gain listed on your store and knowing that stuff's going to convert over a certain amount of time, it's very motivating, at least for me. So I always keep a little log for you guys, of course, but also it helps me notice, okay, we did $800 and something this morning. Well, that's going to keep me motivated because I feel like we can maybe do that again this afternoon and have a killer day in terms of listings on eBay. That's always super exciting. So that's the third thing that I do. With that all said, we can't waste any more time. I'm going to go ahead and get started on photographing those PS3 games. So I've got all the games brought over now to the table. I'm going to go ahead and start photographing them. I'm not going to do a time lapse of this because I feel like we've already covered the time lapses for today. We might do one more, but you guys know what it looks like to photograph things. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it here. And then once I'm done that, we'll get over to the listing table. So I just finished photographing all of the games. There's this pile right here, which we're about to list, and then also these two piles right here. This is gonna be quite a bit. We're gonna see how long it takes us. I'm probably thinking that for the next round, we're not gonna get a full 3 stacks in just because of time constraints, but we'll see what we can do. So I'm pretty pumped. But for right now, I'm gonna be sitting down and doing all this. Again, not gonna time lapse it this time, just gonna get through it. I'll put my head down and try to get the stuff done as quickly as possible. I'll see you guys on the other side in what I'm guessing will be about an hour and a half, 2 hours when all this stuff is wrapped up. And just like that, guys, what finished up in probably about a second for you guys actually ended up taking up over 2 hours for me. That was brutal. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever, I don't know, I probably have listed that long. What am I saying? But man, it's just been a lot today. So these 6 bins down here have all been filled up, as well as I put a few extras in this bin right here. And please don't get mad at me, guys, but I think that's all I'm going to be able to do today. I'm looking at time. This one took a little bit longer than normal, and I'm getting a little bit nervous about not being able to get my postage out on time and then still having to edit a long video tonight. My goal, I know, when I said this originally, when I opened up the video, said that I would go all night, but it's getting pretty late in the afternoon. I'm running out of time to finish all the things I need to get done. That being said, I am definitely open to doing another day kind of like this, where we try to get the rest of that stuff done on the shelf. I have a really exciting series coming up for you guys, actually, where we're going to be competing in some sense. I'm not going to hint that too much, but the video will drop, I believe, on Friday. Yeah. So looking forward to that series a lot, and you guys should as well. But for the meantime, I think this is going to do it for the listings that we're going to be doing today. I feel like we got a lot done. I feel like we got quite a bit, in terms of volume up, which I'm very excited about. But before we just wrap up here, I actually want to share with you guys the numbers, obviously, from what we just done, because I think that might impress you guys. And I think we still did well. Nevertheless, I'm very excited to show you guys what numbers we got. So everything in the blue there, guys, is what we just listed, and that ended up being 63 games. And can you guess the total? It's actually higher than all of our other totals for a day in terms of the 3 pile batches. Here's the total for these games, $561.37. Not bad at all. But now I know what you guys are wondering. What's the total for everything that we did today? How many games did we get listed and how much did it get listed for? Well, I'm going to add everything up here and let's check it out. And guys, with a little bit of math there on the entire chart, I'm able to figure out the totals. And there they are right there. 178 games listed today for $1,300. Not bad at all. Not a bad day's work. And I'm pretty excited about those totals right there. So the game total was not as high as I was hoping for, but the number total definitely was up to expectation. We were above average on all of these games in terms of the listing prices, which was great. I know I did pick out the higher price games, but we definitely did well. I mean, we were probably reaching a $9 average. Actually, I just averaged it out closer to an $8 average, actually $7.75 roughly to be exact. But that's not bad. That's pretty good. So I'm very excited about those numbers. And if we can get another day like this coming up soon, we're going to have a lot of good sales coming in. Speaking of sales, we have a few. Why don't we go ahead and pull them and start to get those guys packed? I'm going to probably pack them off camera, but why don't we just go ahead here and pull them and go through them with you guys before we wrap up this video. All right, guys, so I got all the orders pulled now. Let's go through them real quick here so I can start packing. First of all, we've got 2 Panasonic phones. The first one here on the right was sold as this base and just a unit combo with the power cable. And then this one, additionally on the right of your screen right now, is just the phone only. The same person bought both those listings and they're the same phone unit, but they just weren't bundled. They were purchased at different times here. So anyway, that's going out for whatever the price was on the screen. And then we have one more phone bundle that we sold. This one is a 470, I believe, one of the better units that we sell. Yeah, the 470s sell well. That was one that sold as an individual unit with the base and charger. Next up, we did sell this Xbox 360 white console. Not sure what we got on it. It was tested and working. Probably wasn't a whole lot, but I think we did make a bit of money on that, so not too bad there at all. We can talk about video games here for a second. We sold SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 for the Nintendo DS. We sold UFC 2009 Undisputed for the Xbox 360. This was a cheap game. I know that I did not accept a high offer on that because I had a couple more of these coming in. Anyway, that's not great. NBA Live 2005. I don't think I took very much on that one either. And Cue Ball, I may have taken a little bit more. These were not high-priced games, though, by any means. So those are the 4 games that are going out for the video game store for today. Hopefully, the listing that we did will help increase this much more. Finally, guys, something a little bit more interesting. I'll throw it up on the left of the screen here. This was a Lego set that we had listed, I guess, a couple weeks ago now, that I believe we sold for $60. Again, the price is on the screen. It's like a vintage pirate set, though. It's all in this bag. And it was incomplete, but we picked it up at Value Village for a few bucks. I think it was a couple bags worth, so it may have been like 2 bags. So we might have like, I don't know, $8 in it. And yeah, we sold it for the price on the screen. Not too bad at all. There was more stuff in those bags, though, that I lotted out into some minifigure lots and some other lots, base plate lots, brick lots. So we're going to be making quite a bit from this Lego haul. Really excited about that, but I figured I would show you guys that sale. That's the first used Lego set, I believe. Maybe not. We probably sold some other ones, but I to my knowledge, as of right now, I believe this is the first used Lego set that we've sold, at least definitely from the recent stuff that we've picked up. Airval might correct me in the comments on that. But anyway, very excited to have that one going out. And overall, that's a look at everything that we sold and that's going out today, and I got to start packing. All right, guys, well, I think that's going to wrap up today's video here for the most part. I know that I was super excited to make this, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. There was a lot of anticipation for this video for me, and I was just really looking forward to getting into it. I also kind of wanted to get it started because there was a lot of times where I had maybe a couple hours or two. I guess a couple would mean 2, but you know, a few hours here and there where I was like, man, I should really list some video games, but I didn't want to do any because I was saving them all for this video. Clearly, we didn't need to save them all, but nevertheless, now I can start to sort of work away at them at times, or again, we'll do another bulk video like this. But I've got lots and lots of games down here. I've got lots more coming, so we've got lots of work to do. No shortage of games, which means no shortage of content coming up soon. Super excited about all of that. So hopefully, again, you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to go down below, leave a like on it. That helps out it helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Always appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I think with that, I will see you guys all in the next video.